How can a landlocked country with some of the harshest terrains on Earth be called the heart of Africa? When Ethiopia is mentioned, you may have asked yourself that very question. Trust me, you're not alone. For many people, Ethiopia remains a distant and unfamiliar name on the world map. That's why today, we're here to invite you on a journey to discover the mysterious and miraculous Ethiopia. In this land, people have learned to face the wrath of nature head-on in order to survive. Hidden deep within steep mountain ranges, sacred relics have stood tall for centuries, becoming timeless symbols of unshakable religious faith. And alongside its rich past, Ethiopia is shaping a new face, a modern nation rising up, opening the door to promising development and a hopeful future. Let's explore Ethiopia, where past and present blend together, to write the story known as the Heart of Africa. The Danakil Depression. The Danakil Depression lies in northeastern Ethiopia, about 125 meters below sea level, bordering Eritrea and Djibouti. Danakil is renowned as one of the hottest and harshest regions on the planet. Temperatures range from 45 to 50 degrees Celsius, with less than 100 millimeters of rainfall annually. The flat ground stretches endlessly, covered in blinding white salt, cracked into neat squares like a giant chessboard. Blistering sunlight beams directly down, making the earth glare so brightly it hurts your eyes. Amid this salt desert lie lakes in vibrant, unusual colors: bright yellow, deep green, and reddish brown. Not far away, acid springs bubble and hiss day and night. Toxic gases rise continuously from the lakes and vents, filling the air with a pungent chemical smell. Due to the extreme environment, Danakil's ecosystem is incredibly sparse. Only thorny shrubs and tough acacia trees survive along the edges. Occasionally, desert reptiles like lizards and snakes make an appearance. This is home to the Afar people, a nomadic community deeply connected to their camels and salt mining, or what they call white gold. They live in small fabric huts on the fringes of Danakil. Salt mining has taken place here for thousands of years. At dawn, camel caravans carry the Afar people into the salt fields. With knives and pickaxes, they cut the salt into rectangular blocks called amole. Then load them onto camels to be transported hundreds of kilometers to market. This resilient image has become Danakil's most distinctive cultural symbol. In the past, salt was used as currency, valued equally with food, textiles, and even weapons. Today, the Afar use paper money, but salt remains the #1 irreplaceable resource. Famed photographer Joel Santos, after visiting Danakil, exclaimed, "I believe salt mining in Danakil is one of the hardest jobs in the world. People work in the hottest place on earth for just 100 to 200 euros a month." To reach the Danakil Depression, you'll need to take a 6 to 7 hour drive from the Mekelle region. Just minutes after stepping out of the vehicle, your shirt will be soaked in sweat, and your throat will burn from the scorching heat. Your guide will hand you a cloth to cover your face, shielding your skin and lungs from the extreme conditions. The most valuable experience is joining the Afar people on a salt mining trip. You'll witness them hacking salt into perfectly square tiles with steel axes, stacking the slabs neatly before loading them onto the camels. The dry clank of metal striking salt, mixed with the Afar's calls to their camels, creates the raw, authentic soundscape of this land. Erta Ale Volcano. We've only just dipped a toe into the harshness of the Danakil Depression. Now, let's explore a place dubbed the Gateway to Hell within the basin. Erta Ale Volcano. Located in the heart of the Danakil Depression, Erta Ale rises 613 meters above sea level. Nicknamed the Gateway to Hell, it is one of the very few volcanoes in the world with a continuously active lava lake since 1906. The glowing red lava, with temperatures reaching thousands of degrees Celsius, boils endlessly day and night. Waves of molten rock rise and crash, sending out sparks and spewing toxic gases like SO2 and CO2. The orange-red glow from the lava lake lights up the night sky, as if nature were putting on a show of power. Around Erta Ale, only a small community of Afar people reside. They live in tiny villages located several dozen kilometers away to avoid the volcano's sudden outbursts. During Erta Ale's most recent major eruption in September 2005, a herd of 250 livestock was killed, forcing nearby residents to evacuate. Then in August 2007, lava flows caused 2 people to go missing. Just over a year later, in November 2008, the volcano erupted again, prompting another round of evacuations. Because of this, the Afar people hold deep respect and fear for Erta Ale, considering it a sacred mountain. Legend has it that when people disrespect the land and the environment, the mountain becomes enraged, and the red lava is a sign of that fury. They never set foot on its slopes without a religious reason or a truly necessary purpose. To seek protection from the mountain, the Afar conduct sacrificial rituals. They slaughter a goat or a camel, letting the blood soak into the ground. An elder recites sacred prayers while young men sing traditional supplication songs. If you're brave enough, you can visit Erta Ale under military escort provided by Ethiopian forces. The volcano is close to the Eritrean border, where tensions with Ethiopia still exist. In 2012, after a conflict with local groups, several tourists were kidnapped, injured, and even killed while attempting to reach Erta Ale. If you are accompanied, prepare to face Erta Ale's extreme challenges. Don't forget to bring water, a flashlight, and a gas mask. The path to the summit is covered with razor-sharp volcanic rock. A single misstep could tear open your hand or knee. Temperatures of 45 to 50 degrees Celsius turn the climb into a brutal physical trial, even for the fittest individuals. But if you don't give up, after 3 to 4 hours you'll reach the crater. the glowing lava lake appears. Waves of molten rock rising and bursting in terrifying gurgling explosions. After the journey, rest in the humble tents of the Afar people. You'll hear tales of the sacred mountain, where people live in fear and reverence, relying on it to survive. The Dallol Geothermal Area. If Erta Ale wasn't impressive enough, head to Dallol, the most extreme part of the Danakil Depression. If Erta Ale is the gateway to hell, then Dallol is truly hell on earth. Dallol is a unique geothermal area surrounding a cone-shaped ash volcano in the Danakil lowlands, northeast of the Erta Ale range. It holds the record for the highest average annual temperature on Earth, around 50 degrees Celsius. Dallol looks like a land corroded by chemicals, creating one of the world's most surreal and unique landscapes. On a pale white salt crust lie emerald green acid pools, mottled with vibrant colors. Next to them are patches of crystallized sulfur in a dazzling yellow hue, glowing under the sun. Milky steam rises constantly from hydrothermal vents, carrying the harsh, toxic scent of sulfur. Get closer and you'll see bubbling acid eating away at the rock, leaving behind countless tiny craters. In Dallol, home to Earth's most extreme environment, no life form can survive long, except for some microorganisms. Still, traces of human presence occasionally appear, though only briefly. First, there are scientific expeditions. Researchers come to collect soil and water samples for studying how microbes survive here, offering clues about life on other planets. Then there are the Afar people, who sometimes appear on the fringes of Dallol to mine salt or guide camels carrying it through the area. Though used to harsh conditions, the Afar still consider Dallol a place not to linger in. As the most dangerous and extreme location in Danakil, visits to Dallol are strictly controlled by tour operators. Children, the elderly, and those with respiratory or heart conditions are not permitted to visit Dallol. When you arrive, you'll witness bubbling acid lakes, smoking sulfur deposits, and brightly colored salt mounds, as if on another planet. However, your visit will only last 20 to 40 minutes due to the intense heat and surrounding toxic gases. Compared to Erta Ale and other sites in Danakil, Dallol offers the shortest visiting time. Throughout the tour, guides will constantly remind you not to touch anything, not to collect samples, and never to stray from the designated path. Photography and filming are also closely monitored. Yet from another perspective, this harshness makes the Dallol experience all the more precious. In just a few short minutes, you'll witness the Earth's most extreme and surreal face. The Rock-Hewn Churches of Tigray. Scattered across the Geralta Mountains in northern Ethiopia's Tigray region lies a breathtaking cluster of rock-hewn churches. These mountains rise 2,000 to 2,500 meters above sea level. Their sandstone cliffs, marked by deep crevices and narrow footpaths, barely wide enough for one person. On this rugged terrain, more than 120 churches were carved directly into the rock faces, some dating back hundreds, even over 1,500 years. They were built after Christianity became the official religion of the Kingdom of Axum. Legend has it that missionaries from the Mediterranean, Syria, and Rome brought their faith and stone carving techniques to Ethiopia, paving the way for this extraordinary complex. The Rock-Hewn Churches of Tigray are now a major religious center of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Among them, Abuna Yemata Gu stands out, perched on a cliff 2,580 meters high. The path to the church is nothing more than a sheer, exposed rock slope with a gaping chasm below. Pilgrims climb it bare-handed, clinging to cracks in the stone, feeling for footholds with only a single rope tied around their waist. Inside, the church is small, with a low vaulted ceiling and cool stone walls. The murals painted on its surfaces use natural minerals. Red from ochre, green from copper, yellow from sulfur. Despite centuries of time, the faces of saints and angels remain vivid and clear. To this day, Tigrayans don white robes, cradle wooden crosses, and even carry children up the cliffs to pray. For them, the treacherous climb is a sacred part of the ritual. From Mekelle, the capital of Tigray, it takes a 3 to 4 hour drive northwest to reach the Geralta Range, where these hidden churches lie. From the base of the mountain, you must hike about an hour up a long stone incline to reach the church cluster. To enter Abuna Yamata Gu, you must scale vertical rock faces with only a simple rope tied around your waist. After that, you must edge along a narrow ledge barely 40 centimeters wide, mountain wall on one side, a steep drop on the other. Only after crossing this threshold do you step into the sacred space of Abuna Yamata Gu. Inside, small chambers glow dimly as sunlight filters through narrow cracks. On the ceiling, centuries-old murals remain vividly colored. The air carries a faint scent of incense, mingling with the cool dampness of stone walls. Sit on the rock floor, take a deep breath, relax your body, free your mind, and feel the presence of a sanctity that has endured for millennia. Lalibela Town, Amhara. Lalibela is located on the Lasta Plateau in northern Ethiopia, at an elevation of around 2,500 meters. The town is famed for its complex of 11 rock-hewn churches, carved into the ground in the 12th century. In the 12th century, during a time when Ethiopia was fragmented and distant, Jerusalem had fallen to foreign hands, King Lalibela of the Zagwe dynasty had a bold vision to build a new Jerusalem on Ethiopian soil. He wanted his people to no longer risk dangerous sea journeys for pilgrimage, but to find holiness right in their homeland. From that dream, the Lalibela complex began construction. Thousands of craftsmen toiled for decades. Using rudimentary tools, they carved deep into the solid basalt mountains, forming 11 monolithic churches. These sunken churches are connected by narrow, winding underground passages. Lalibela has been called the Jerusalem of Ethiopia. Each church symbolizes a sacred element of the Bible. Bet Medane Alem, the largest rock-hewn church in the world, honors the Savior. Bet Mariam, adorned with vivid decorations, is dedicated to the Virgin Mary. The most iconic is Bet Georgis, Church of St. George, with a perfectly shaped cross layout, carved deep into a square pit of rock. Inside the churches, light filters through narrow slits, casting soft beams across stone walls etched with crosses. Pilgrims wrapped in white cloth walk barefoot in silence. The steady chanting of priests blends with the faint aroma of incense. Lalibela was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1978. From the capital Addis Ababa, you can fly directly to Lalibela Airport in about an hour. Then continue by car for over 20 kilometers to reach the town. You'll walk along rugged stone paths, squeeze through narrow, dim underground corridors to explore Lalibela. Gradually, the darkness gives way to vast spaces where the ancient church roofs suddenly appear. Then, you must climb steep stone steps worn smooth by centuries of pilgrims' feet to enter the churches. Inside, you'll find priests in white robes, leaning on crosses, chanting steadily in the ancient Ge'ez language. Pilgrims murmur prayers in the soft glow of candles and oil lamps. In that moment, you'll understand that religious faith has nourished the spiritual life of Ethiopians for thousands of years. Axum Town, Tigray. Axum is a town located in northern Ethiopia, in the Tigray region, about 40 kilometers from the Eritrean border. The city lies on a plateau at an elevation of over 2,100 meters, with fertile red basaltic soil, a dry climate, and abundant sunshine. It was once the capital of the Kingdom of Axum, one of the four greatest empires of the ancient world, alongside Rome, Persia, and China, between the 1st and 7th centuries. The Aksumite civilization was among the earliest to mint its own coins. Many of these coins bear the image of the cross, a testament to Christianity, becoming the state religion as early as the 4th century. Today, Axum is famous for its enormous monolithic stelae, towering over the dry highlands. Some of these stelae reach heights of up to 24 meters, intricately carved to resemble multi-story palaces, showcasing the advanced craftsmanship and artistry of ancient times. At the heart of Axum stands the Church of Saint Mary of Zion, the most prominent religious structure intertwined with Ethiopia's history for centuries. The original church was built in the 4th century under the reign of King Ezana, the first Aksumite ruler to convert to Christianity. Throughout history, the church has undergone several reconstructions and restorations, such as in the 17th century under Emperor Fasilides, and again in the 20th century under Emperor Haile Selassie, who commissioned additional structures. As a result, the Church of St. Mary of Zion bears the architectural and historical imprints of many eras. According to legend, it houses the Ark of the Covenant, the gold-covered wooden chest said to contain the 10 Commandments given by God to Moses. Ethiopians believe that Menelik I, son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, brought the Ark from Jerusalem to Axum. To this day, the Ark is guarded by a single monk. No one else is permitted to see the sacred relic. Though shrouded in mystery, the Ark of the Covenant remains the spiritual cornerstone of the Ethiopian people. Every emperor was crowned at St. Mary of Zion, believing their power to be sanctioned by the sacred relic. From Mekelle, you can reach Axum by car in about 5 to 6 hours. Within the town, historical sites are located quite close to one another. The distance from the Stele Field to St. Mary of Zion is only a few hundred meters. At the Stele Field, you can admire towering stone monuments divided into multiple levels, with carved false windows. Some have fallen, while others still stand tall, their surfaces weathered by time. Nearby is a small museum displaying inscriptions in ancient Ge'ez script and gold and silver Aksumite coins. When visiting the Church of St. Mary of Zion, you may be surprised to find a modern church standing right next to the ancient one. At St. Mary of Zion, an elderly priest in a green robe holding a silver cross will tell you legends about the Ark of the Covenant, the sacred relic of the Ethiopian people. Gondar City, Amhara. Gondar is a city in the Amhara region of northwestern Ethiopia, situated at about 2,200 meters above sea level. In 1636, Emperor Fasilides decided to move the capital from a temporary mountain settlement to this flatland area. Since then, Gondar became the capital of Ethiopia. For more than 2 centuries, Gondar served as the country's political, religious, and cultural center. During its golden age, Gondar was a melting pot of cultures. Portuguese missionaries came to preach. Indian craftsmen helped construct palaces, and Muslim traders from Sudan conducted commerce here. Gondar has a highland climate, dry and intensely sunny. Yet the sky remains clear and the wind often cool. The most famous historical site in Gondar is the Fasil Gebi complex. This includes palaces, fortifications, and chapels built from basalt stone in the 17th century under Emperor Fasilides. Later rulers such as Johannes I, Iyasu I, Bakafa, and Empress Mentewab added new palaces. Thus, within the walls of Fasil Gebi emerged a fusion of diverse architectural styles. Curved domes and round towers reflect Islamic influence. Floral windows hint at European styles, while wooden beams and stone blocks carry the traditional Aksumite legacy. Beyond Fasil Gebi, Gondar is home to many other heritage structures of cultural and artistic value. One of them is the Debre Berhan Selassie Church, whose wooden ceiling is adorned with hundreds of angelic faces with wide-open eyes. This mural is considered one of Ethiopia's most iconic religious artworks. However, the city has also faced its share of turmoil. Armies from Sudan destroyed many buildings, leaving behind ruins and abandoned foundations. Today, life in Gondar continues just outside the historical sites. Every morning, the central market bustles with the sound of coffee being pounded and children calling out to each other. When in Gondar, begin your journey at the Fasil Gebi complex. Its thick, moss-covered walls lead you into a wide courtyard, where grand stone castles emerge in all their majestic glory. Though many walls have crumbled and some arches stand exposed, one can still imagine royal audiences and solemn coronation ceremonies held here in the past. Leaving the royal compound, head to the Debris Burhan Selassie Church to gaze at the mural of hundreds of angels watching from above. If you visit Gondar in January, the Timkat Festival will be an unforgettable experience. At dawn, worshippers gather at the royal bath to hear priests chant prayers and bless the water. Then thousands of believers dive into the holy pool to cleanse themselves. The sounds of joyous shouting mixed with devotional songs create a sacred and unique atmosphere. Lake Tana, Amhara. Tana is the largest freshwater lake in Ethiopia, located at an altitude of 1,840 meters above sea level, covering an area of about 3,600 square kilometers. Lake Tana is the source of the Nile, the longest river in the world, flowing through vast regions of Africa. Its surface stretches all the way to the horizon, where the blue of the water merges with the white of the clouds, creating a breathtaking oil painting. Dozens of small islands are scattered across the lake, covered by dense forests. On these islands stand centuries-old Ethiopian Orthodox monasteries. They began to be built by the locals in the 14th century using laterite stone and wood. Today, around 20 ancient monasteries remain, such as Urakidan Merit, Kebran Gabriel, and Daga Estefanos. Inside the monasteries, handwritten manuscripts in ancient Ge'ez, script on goatskin, are still preserved. During times of conflict, Lake Tana also served as a hiding place for treasures and holy relics, protecting them from invading forces. Even now, cultural and historical researchers continue to visit the monasteries to study them. From early morning, fishermen set out on the lake. They row lozenge-shaped papyrus boats, light and buoyant, or use long wooden canoes. From afar, the sound of monastery bells echoes, blending with the rhythmic splashes of oars, creating a scene that feels both simple and sacred. Mornings on Lake Tana begin with a reed boat tour aboard a traditional tankwa. As the boat glides slowly over mist-covered waters, you can feel a profound stillness spreading through the air. If you wish to visit the monasteries, head to Kabran Gabriel or Ura Kidan Meret Islands. Inside the monasteries, colorful religious murals have remarkably retained their brightness through the centuries. A monk in a white robe approaches, holding a gleaming silver cross in his hand. He slowly opens an ancient goatskin Bible manuscript, revealing illustrations of angels beside the text. In that moment, you feel culture, history, religion, and art converge within the monastery's sacred silence. The Blue Nile Falls, Issat. About 30 kilometers from Lake Tana, the Blue Nile is blocked by basalt rock and plunges into a deep gorge, creating the Issat Falls, also known as the Blue Nile Falls. Issat Falls stands about 40 to 45 meters tall and can stretch up to 400 meters wide during the rainy season. The water splits into several streams, cascading down to form a thick mist that blankets a vast area. On sunny days, the sunlight pierces through the mist, creating a rainbow arcing across the waterfall. Perhaps that's why it's called Issat, which means water that smokes in Amharic. Historically, Issat marked a natural boundary between the fertile lake region and the arid valleys to the west. The Amhara people living near the falls see Issat as a sacred symbol, For them, the water not only nourishes the land but also plays a role in baptism and rituals for rain and harvest. In their spiritual beliefs, many monks consider Issat a witness to God's power in Ethiopia. For example, during the Timkat festival, the Amhara draw water from the base of the falls to use as holy water in mass baptism ceremonies. Near the falls stands an old laterite stone bridge built by the Portuguese in the 17th century, still intact today. Nowadays, villagers set up small coffee stalls near the bridge entrance, roasting beans on the spot to serve pilgrims and tourists. More than just a majestic landscape, Issat is a cultural and religious symbol, deeply woven into Ethiopian life. The journey to Issat begins in Bahir Dar. From there, it's about an hour by car, followed by a 30-minute walk along a red dirt trail. From afar, the sound of rushing water drums steadily, growing louder with each step. And when you arrive, the waterfall reveals itself in full grandeur and splendor. In the rainy season, the flow expands to nearly 400 meters wide, forming a massive silver curtain across the valley. From a rocky cliff, you can watch as rainbows appear when sunlight slants through the mist. If you have the chance, observe the Amhara villagers using the water's force to grind grain or irrigate their riverside fields. Most captivating of all is the sight of village elders collecting holy water from the foot of the falls for baptism rituals. The Lower Omo Valley. Located in the far south of Ethiopia, bordering South Sudan and Kenya, the Omo River Valley was shaped by the Omo River before it flows into Lake Turkana. The Lower Omo Valley opens up into stretches of lowland. Amid the open spaces, towering basalt cliffs rise dozens of meters high. The Omo River surges fiercely. During the rainy season, the rising waters flood the riverbanks, carrying away dry branches. When the water recedes, a thick layer of mud is left behind, quickly cracking under the sun, creating mottled gray and white streaks on the ground. The Lower Omo Valley is home to more than 12 tribes, each community numbering from a few thousand to tens of thousands of people. As a result, Omo boasts some of the most unique indigenous cultures in Ethiopia. Among the most prominent are the Amhara, Mursi, Karo, and Dasanech communities. The Amhara are famous for their unique coming-of-age ceremony called Ukulibula. In this ritual, young men must leap over the backs of 10 bulls to be recognized as adults and earn the right to marry. Mursi women wear heavy clay lip plates, which are seen as a symbol of feminine beauty. The Karo people are known for their body painting art. They use white and red earth, along with crushed charcoal, to create colors, then paint directly on their skin with dots, spirals, and geometric patterns. During festivals or coming-of-age ceremonies, their bodies become living canvases, glowing with bright patterns under the sun. Men carry rifles, wear feathered and beaded jewelry, posing like warriors from ancient epics. The Ari people stand out for their pottery and blacksmithing skills. They make clay pots, machetes, and farming tools to sell to neighboring tribes. When you set foot in the Lower Omo Valley, you step into a world of vibrant indigenous cultures, shared by 12 coexisting tribes. Your first experience might be the Ukulibula, coming-of-age ceremony of the Amhara people. As the drums beat rapidly, you'll join the community to witness a young man leap over 10 bulls to be recognized as an adult and eligible for marriage. Next, visit the Karo community to see how they transform their bodies into living works of art. If you stop by an Ari village, you'll discover another side of Omo culture: pottery and traditional metalwork. Watching hands shaping clay and striking hammers to forge pots and tools, you'll feel the deep connection between manual labor and community life. The Great Green Wall Project. The Great Green Wall Project stretches over 8,000 kilometers across the Sahel Belt, from Senegal in the west to Djibouti in the east. Ethiopia lies at the far end of the project, where the green belt reaches the Horn of Africa. Initiated in 2007, the project aims to plant trees to restore arid lands and combat desertification. Ethiopia is one of the leading countries with large-scale reforestation programs. Northern Ethiopia used to be a barren land. The ground was cracked, covered in brown-gray dust carried by the wind to the mountain's base. Low hills stretched endlessly, bare except for charred tree stumps. The landscape was harsh and lifeless. But in recent years, green has slowly returned. Amid the parched red soil, strips of green trees appear like newly stitched seams, bringing hope for revival. On the hillsides, rows of young trees grow in neat lines, their roots clinging to the dry earth. Some native shrubs have begun to reappear, such as cabera, acacia, and mimosa, with tough leaves, sharp thorns, and high drought tolerance. Beyond tree planting, Ethiopia has restored millions of hectares of land through the exclosure model. These are designated areas where grazing is banned, so vegetation can naturally regenerate. In this process, local communities play a central role. Women, youth, and farmers work together to dig holes, plant trees, and protect every new sprout. As a result, previously barren lands now feature low scrub forests. Birds have started to return, and ecosystems are gradually recovering. Reports say Ethiopia has restored over 15 million hectares of degraded land, a significant portion of the entire project. In the future, Ethiopia aims not only to build a green belt that stops the desert, but also to improve local livelihoods. They plan to expand hundreds of thousands of hectares of community forests, combining timber, fruit trees, and soil-conserving plants. At the same time, sustainable agroforestry is being implemented. Intercropping, soil improvement, and enhanced agricultural productivity. The government focuses on linking forest protection with poverty reduction and job creation. If these efforts are maintained consistently, in a few decades, the arid regions of northern Ethiopia could be completely greened. This green belt will not only halt desertification, but also help retain soil and water and mitigate the effects of climate change. At the same time, it opens new livelihood opportunities, offering more stable income sources for local communities. Capital city, Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia, lies on the slopes of the Entoto Mountains at an altitude of over 2,300 meters above sea level. The city has a typical highland climate. The weather is slightly chilly in the morning, dry and hot at noon, and pleasantly cool at night. Low mountain ranges surround the city, with houses stretching along the rugged hillsides. In the city center, modern glass buildings reflecting sunlight rise beside old neighborhoods with weathered brick walls. On the streets, buses, cars, and trucks bustle along. On the sidewalks, crowds of people stride quickly. Occasionally, crowded light rail cars rush through the city. Addis Ababa is also Africa's political hub. Major institutions like the African Union Headquarters, the United Nations Economic Commission, and dozens of embassies are located here. At the vast Mercado market, the sounds of vendors, bargaining and clattering carts blend with the aroma of freshly roasted coffee and pungent spices. The daily life of traders and workers in Addis Ababa is simple, yet vibrant and noisy. When life becomes too hectic, people often head to Meskel Square and Unity Park for some relaxation. Addis Ababa was founded by Emperor Menelik II and Empress Taitu Betul in 1886, after relocating the capital from the Entoto region. In the 20th century, Addis Ababa experienced many major turning points. In 1936, it was occupied by fascist Italian forces. By 1941, during World War II, British troops and Ethiopian resistance forces successfully liberated the city. In 1963, Addis Ababa became the diplomatic capital of Africa when the Organization of African Unity, now the AU, was established here. From 1974 to 1991, under the Derg regime, the city witnessed brutal political repression campaigns known as the Red Terror. This regime lasted until 1991, when the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front, EPRDF, entered Addis Ababa. The cultural identity of Addis Ababa lies in its blend of old and new, of indigenous tradition and global rhythm. On central streets, the blue domes topped with golden crosses of Orthodox churches still stand tall, with bells ringing every Sunday morning. In the alleyways, the sounds of Asmari music with the Masenko fiddle and Kebero drum still echo from small local bars. Here, people still gather to sing improvised verses and drink tej, a shimmering golden honey wine. Ethiopian cuisine is known for its soft, spongy injera flatbread served with spicy meats, legumes, and vegetables, common in both homes and modern restaurants. A tour of Addis Ababa begins at Mercato, considered the largest market in Africa. Stepping inside feels like entering a maze of sounds and scents. The market has various sections to explore: spices, metal goods, second-hand clothing. Thousands of people from all walks of life crowd together. Businessmen in suits, elderly women selling vegetables, children carrying goods on their backs. Next, you can visit the Red Terror Martyrs Memorial Museum to learn about Ethiopia's painful history. Told through torture instruments, blood-stained clothing, skulls, bones, and photos of victims. A must-see destination is Unity Park, located within the Ethiopian Royal Palace compound. Here, you can admire traditional houses of 13 Ethiopian ethnic groups, visit historical museums, and see the Abyssinian lions, black-maned lions considered royal symbols of Ethiopia.